Очень приятно, конечно, наблюдать за тем, как события последнего года не угнетают творческих людей, а напротив дают им стимул творить. Мне кажется, что что-то очень похожее происходит сейчас и с технологической отраслью. Я передаю слово Стиву Шекспиру, управляющему директору Intel в регионе EMEA.
Hey, hi everybody. This is Steve Shakespeare from Intel. I look after our business for Europe. We call that our business management group. Delighted to be here with you, and really keen to share with you our insights into what's going on in the environment and our outlook for the year ahead. So if I start by talking a little about the markets and the trends, and clearly 2020 has been a tumultuous year for us all. Massive change, massive evolution, obviously driven by the COVID environment. And not only that, also driven by continuing evolution of information technology in the marketplace. As we look at the marketplace, we see some big trends that continue to move forward. You know, clearly the shift to the cloud is an incredibly important dynamic that is evolving the way services and capabilities are delivered to businesses and consumers. In addition to that, 5G deployment and network transformation is really getting pace now. And as that pace is growing, we're working with our customers to deploy our technology into the 5G infrastructure around the world to give far more fast, low latency, high performance networks. In addition to that, artificial intelligence is growing. We're really excited about the opportunity for AI and how that's going to enable both the intelligent edge of the network and also to enable increasingly capable systems and capabilities out there in the marketplace. So as I said, certainly cloudification is a huge part of this, and the evolution of e-commerce services, digital advertising, digital video, digital media has just been accelerated by the COVID environment. As you all well know, businesses increasingly have had to shift online. And as a consequence of that, we're certainly seeing a big shift in the marketplace. We're seeing enterprises move from perhaps having as much traditional infrastructure in place within their own data centers and increasingly looking at the opportunities that cloud brings, both in terms of the speed at which they can deploy services, but also their ability to shift from a CapEx-based environment of the past to an OpEx, an operational expenditure-based environment in the future as people move to services. So it's an incredibly dynamic environment, and from an Intel perspective, clearly we are super focused on enabling the dynamics that we're seeing out there in the market, both in the data center, in the endpoint computing devices, and in the intelligence edge. So we'll talk a little bit about that as we go into some detail now. So if I talk about the client environment specifically, we've seen, again, on the back of the COVID situation, a huge shift in terms of demands on client. I mean, first and foremost, an unprecedented growth in demand for client computing. More than double-digit growth globally that we're seeing in demand for PC, increasingly driven as people demand computing devices to do ever more in business and home. Now, education and healthcare in particular are really key elements of that. And we've seen strong growth worldwide and also in Russia on the back of this. And we've got some major projects that are deploying notebooks and desktops to enable certainly the learning from home environment for students, but also to enable all of the critical healthcare services that we all need in terms of this environment. And then, of course, working from home has been a huge dynamic. We've seen across the board, everything from large enterprise to small enterprise, investing in notebook devices to enable their employees to work remotely. And that's dramatically driven up demand. As students are learning from home, that's dramatically driving up demand. And the way we think about this ultimately is that the density, the number of devices per household may have been one or maybe two in the past. It's now essential for every person in a household to have a device. So we're obviously looking to work with our partners in the marketplace to enable that and to make sure that we can supply it. And I'll talk a little about supply later on, but as I'm sure you're well aware, supply has been phenomenal and we've been chasing to support that. But I'll talk about and give you some confidence about how we're improving the supply picture moving forward. The other thing that's been really exciting about the PC environment is gaming. increasingly the demand as people are not only working from home and learning from home, they're also playing from home, and they're playing games and they're taking advantage of online gaming, which obviously is driving demand for cloud, but they're also refreshing their PC devices to do that. And we've seen unprecedented demand for our K SKUs. These are the overclockable SKUs that we have on desktop, but equally a strong demand for enthusiast notebook SKUs as well. So, we see this being very strong. And by the way, we expect it to continue right through 21 as this whole market grows. And I think for everybody in Russia, Russia is the fourth largest gaming market for Intel worldwide. So phenomenal marketplace. And I'm thrilled that consumers and gamers are able to take advantage of our technology there. So if I move on and talk a little bit about what's happening in the cloud environment, in the cloud environment, a big shift towards cloudification that we're seeing on here. So increasingly, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a shift towards e-commerce services that are being deployed, a really interesting shift towards video services that are being deployed from the cloud. And what we would call X as a service, whether it's infrastructure as a service, software as a service, device as a service, all of these things are shifting towards the cloud capabilities on there. And I think certainly the dynamic that we see in Russia in particular, driven by the governmental encouragement and the local marketplace, is very strong cloud growth in the local players. So the local cloud players in Russia, the local cloud service providers in Russia, are all growing very, very strongly, responding to the local Russian marketplace and the demands that we see there. So we see that as a huge opportunity, and clearly that momentum is established and will continue as we move forward going from here. So some really exciting times that are happening as a consequence of cloudification. And as you can imagine, within Intel, we're continuing to look at how we innovate and invest and evolve our product roadmap to support those demands. And I'll come on to that a little bit later on. I wanted to take a moment talking about, I've mentioned working from home, but the working from home environment is very much how how technology is changing this. And I think what's interesting, I mentioned there's the classic kind of device working from home, but we're also seeing technology deployed in very, very different endpoint devices. And the whole area of what we would call, Internet of Things is growing massively. Endpoints computing, the digital edge is growing as well. And services such as video surveillance, we see that growing very, very quickly. We've got some great examples in the current environment where people have taken advantage of Intel technology to deliver new capabilities. So, for example, our partners have been using technology such as Intel RealSense to provide hands-free, so touchless environments for validating employees for security systems. They've been using similar environment for validating that employees are fully compliant with PPE, personal protective equipment, to if they're in a clinical setting where they need to take advantage of that. We've had some great work where our partners have taken our technology and developed digital monitoring systems in a hospital setting. So you no longer need nurses or physicians to be standing by watching people, particularly as we've had very big demands on hospitals. So some really fascinating, innovative ideas that are coming forward, and we're obviously keen to work with all of our partners that are interested in leveraging this technology to innovate in the market, develop new products and services. So, as challenging and frankly sad as the COVID situation has been, it's certainly been bringing out the very best of the innovative ideas and capabilities that we have from our partners. And I'm just super proud of the work that we've done together to make that move forward. So moving on, let me talk about 2021, right? So 2020 has been a tough year. That said, we've seen IT continue to become a really important part of how society copes with the pandemic. When we look at 2021, we continue to see a very strong market. From a client computing perspective, across Europe, we're expecting a greater than double-digit, in the order of 14% growth year on year in terms of client computing devices. So we think that presents a huge opportunity as this demand for learning from home, working from home, playing from home continues, and the density of devices in business and the density of devices in households continues to grow. So that represents a significant opportunity. And I'll talk a little about some of the products that we're bringing to market to help you take advantage of that moving forward as well. We're also seeing strength in server. So, the cloud continues to grow, not at the same rate. We're seeing a sort of a mid-single digit, 4 or 5% growth in terms of the server market in the year ahead. However, we still see that strong and really kind of consolidating on the back of these digital e-commerce cloud-based services that are growing out there. So again, there's a huge opportunity if you're in the business of providing digital services to continue to service the market and take advantage of that. Now, in support of that, Intel has continued to innovate in terms of our products and our product roadmap. So if I look at the the brands and the products that we've got, we're really proud on a couple of things. So most recently in the second half of this year, we've recently launched our 11th generation core products. You see that in the little blue Core i7, for example, logo on here. So we're super excited about this. This is based on our Tiger Lake platform. You may have heard it called as. We've now branded that 11th generation core. This is world-leading client innovation. We outperform our competition by around 20% at the highest level. These products, we're super excited about the benefits that they bring to market and the performance leadership that we are well known for that we're bringing back with these products in the market. So you'll see us be really aggressive, bringing Tiger Lake into the market. I think we've got in the order of 150 SKU designs globally on this product. So you'll see that coming out there for notebooks everywhere. And my colleagues in Russia tell me that we're sold out in the Russian marketplace. Tiger Lake is sold out. So we're really proud about the response that the market's had to this product. And we will, our commitment globally is to have an annual cadence, so an annual refresh of our leadership products. So you can expect that every year we're going to have new innovative leadership products. They're going to continue to push the boundary for client computing. So we think that's really exciting on client, and we're thrilled that the demand for PC computing has been really acknowledged, and the value of PC computing in these tough times and for the future is really re-established in the worldwide marketplace. The other thing that we're innovating on is on our Xeon platforms. Actually on the Tiger Lake parts, they're based on our 10 nanometer manufacturing technology, and I'll come back onto that a little bit later on. But on Xeon, we'll be launching our first 10 nanometer based Xeon platform. So this is the Ice Lake server platforms. They're going to start shipping in calendar Q1 next year. So you'll shortly see those come to market. We're really excited about that. They're going to raise the bar again in terms of the performance of our data center platforms. And obviously that's the technology that underpins all of these cloud services and capabilities that we're talking about. So of course, you can imagine that we want to certainly talk to all of our data center customers, whether they're deploying this into cloud or into enterprise or into public sector or into small business. We'd love to talk to you about this technology and how you can take advantage of it in the infrastructure planning that you're putting in place. So we think it's a really kind of exciting time in terms of roadmap innovation. And as I mentioned, we continue to be committed to an annual cadence of product refresh. So you'll see that coming forward as well. Moving on, I'd like to spend a little minute of how we're enabling that, kind of under the hood of 11th generation core and the like. And you may have heard us refer to a technology called Superfin. Superfin is the technology that we've and the innovation that we've invested into our 10 nanometer process to bring ever more improvement generation on generation. So for example, in this case, our first 10 nanometer client part was called Ice Lake. That was the 10th generation core part, which continues to perform strongly and be in the marketplace. With Superfin, we took advantage of all of our technology development and technology leadership initiatives that we have in place to engineer our manufacturing process to another level. It's essentially like going from a different node. It's like going to the next compaction of the node technology, but by bringing the Superfin technology to the marketplace, that's enabled us to give that generation on generation performance improvement within the same node. And you'll see us doing this. We're continuing to look at how we continue to innovate with our technology development initiatives to bring this product forward. So technology leadership is a huge focus for us. You know, our chief architect, Raja Kaduri, has certainly talked about from an architecture perspective, the 6 pillars of innovation that we are undertaking. And those pillars talk to the various initiatives that we have to continue to evolve the technology we bring to market. And in that respect, you know, we're very excited that we're very confident that we have years of innovation ahead of us where we'll continue to innovate and continue to bring leadership products into the marketplace. So talking of leadership products, yeah, let me turn to Evo. I wanted just to spend a minute on this. So Evo, I mean, the way to think about Evo, it's really our best of the best notebook platform. It's based on 11th generation core. It takes advantage of that Superfin technology, obviously, as part of it. It's got the product leadership. But Evo is a platform brand. And within this platform brand, we're essentially bringing the best of the best. We're bringing the best performance. We're bringing less than 1 second wake from sleep. So imagine, literally, the time it takes to open the lid of your laptop, the laptop is on and it's operating. We've got 9-hour plus battery life. So you've got truly all day battery life that you will have on these devices and the very best performance on it. So we're really excited about this. It absolutely is world-class, world-leading client technology, best of the best platforms, and will be our premium innovative platforms, both for business and for consumers. So really exciting time in the branding space to bring that together. And you'll see us investing behind this brand to move it forward. So we got many, I think there are 20 verified designs that we've got on Evo coming this year. And you'll see those on the shelves in retail for this holiday period, if you can get them. Right, as I mentioned earlier, there's huge demand for this stuff, and it's certainly selling out. So really exciting times for Evo as well. I want to take a minute then to talk now about graphics. So you're probably aware that you know, Intel has announced our entry into the discrete graphics marketplace, and you know, this is powered by you know, our very latest generation graphics part. We call it XE, which is the graphics capability here. It's our Iris XE graphics. And what we're super excited about is what we've done here is we've kind of taken the graphics capability that's part of Tiger Lake, and we've actually productized it as a discrete, standalone, and scalable platform on that. So we've recently announced our first client discrete graphics parts. We call it DG1. Those are launching in the market. You're going to see the first devices from our OEM partners, including people like Asus and Dell, that are going to start to bring these discrete graphics parts into their notebooks. You know, these graphics parts outperform and are competitive with mainstream discrete graphics cards today. So by bringing them to market, you're going to get the benefit of discrete mainstream graphics without the cost, because it's you know, it's integrated into the platform. So you know, we're really excited about that. We're also looking at how we bring this forward as a discrete graphics plug-in card. So you'll see us continue to evolve this roadmap. So this is our first step on graphics. It's a $30 billion plus market globally. And we are absolutely laser focused on bringing products in that will enable us to win a sizable share of that market over the coming years. So this is a long-term strategic intent. And we're really excited about getting in the graphics market, bringing both global leadership on our integrated platforms and global leadership graphics with discrete solutions as well. Now, in addition to that, we're bringing these graphics into the data center. So next year, you're going to see our first server graphics part. So SG1 is going to come to market. And with that, we're really excited as well. So this is going to give the benefit of graphics acceleration within the data center. So for a lot of these cloud workloads and the like, and we've got our cloud customers globally already starting to work with us on optimizing solutions onto this platform. So we're really thrilled about that. I'm really thrilled about the opportunity to continue to grow that market and to hopefully provide you with solutions that you see beneficial and can take advantage of to enable you to grow in the marketplace. Okay, so having talked about you know, graphics, you know, what I really want to do is to wrap up on is to talk about the supply situation. So as many of you are aware, we've had a difficult time with supply, frankly, this year. And frankly, we did not see the level of increased demands that was going to come for our customers. And it is absolutely unprecedented. As I mentioned, we've seen double-digit growth through 2020. And as that growth continued to grow, we've chased it. And frankly, we've not had enough supply to keep up. We made a decision very early on to prioritize our server parts. So our server parts, we do have supply for server. We prioritize server. So we're very much seeing that server supply is absolutely good. No significant issues there. And we'll continue to prioritize that in the market. We're also, by the way, prioritizing support for our Internet of Things supply, because we know those designs are put in place and they run in market for some time. So we had to make some difficult decisions through the course of the year where we decided to go short on the demand for small core, so Celeron and Pentium in particular parts. So you'll have seen that we were really short on those parts in the market. But we did that in order to ensure that server was strong, IoT was strong, and that our core clients, so our Core I parts, i3, i5, i7, i9, etc., all get strong supply as well. So through 2020, we've been chasing to catch up. I'm really pleased to say, as we come towards the end of 2020, we've caught up on supply. So we're generally pretty good. We got some what we would call mix issues. So the overall volume is good, but we may not have certain parts. So those of you that are close to gaming, for example, may know that we're short on the 10900K part. It's the very highest performing desktop K SKU. However, we've mitigated that by launching a 10850K part, which gives us a little bit more volume to mitigate that. So I apologize if that's one that you wanted. We are limited. It's going to be limited for the lifetime of the product, but we're looking to bring other products in the market as well. So supply is ramping, and we're kind of catching up towards the end of this year. As we look into next year, I mentioned that, firstly, server will continue to be prioritized. There's no issues on server supply. The client side, we're forecasting double-digit market growth again, as I mentioned earlier, but we have supply that's going to outstrip that. So you'll see here that our supply is going to be greater than that. We continue to increase the supply that's coming in 2021. And as a consequence of that, we are very, very confident that we'll continue to support the demands of the market. A key tool that's enabled us to do it, and the reason for the image on this slide is our factory network. So this is a picture of our Arizona in the US, our Arizona-based fabrication plant. It's a 10 nanometer factory. It came online midpoint this year. It's ramped through the second half. And this is what gives us that additional capacity and that confidence to say that supply is good and is here to stay. So, we absolutely believe that we're through the knothole of the supply issues, and we're in a good place as we move forward. So you can feel really good about the supply. We're going to continue to work incredibly hard to support your demands. We don't want to short anybody. We think the supply is going to be strong. And with this increased supply, not only do we believe we'll support the demands that people have, we'll increase our operating inventory, we'll have supply to actually go win back the share that we know we lost to our competition as a result of the decisions that we made. And we're going to be very, very competitive to come win in the market. We want to win your business and win with you in the market to grow the market as we go through 2021. So with that, I just wanted to thank you all for listening. Thank you for your time. I hope this has been useful. If you've got questions, please let us know. And personally, I look forward to getting over to Russia as soon as I'm able to. It's been incredibly frustrating that I've not been able to get over there this year, but I'm super keen to get over there and hopefully meet with some of you when indeed that happens. So, hey, thanks for your time. All the best. Thank you.